What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American Politics, back in with a new video, and we got some major news developing out of the great state of Ohio. So as many of you probably know, in 2024, there is a critical Senate race in the great state of Ohio. Incumbent Sherrod Brown is trying to hold on for a fourth term, and Republicans are currently in the phase of trying to figure out who is the candidate to take out Brown in 2024. Well, we have our first major announcement, or technically it's not official, but it's pretty much official. Matt Dolan, state senator and former U.S. Senate candidate in 2022, is announcing his candidacy for the 2024 Ohio United States Senate election. This is big. This is our first major announcement in this great state. Now, if you don't know who Matt Dolan is, put it bluntly, he's garbage. That's the best way to describe him. Now, he's not like a Tony Gonzalez type where he would screw you over in a rule package or anything like that, but this guy is what you would call a Columbus Republican. And if you don't know what Columbus, Ohio is, just look it up. It was the definition of a respectable conservative hub. You know, those Republicans from 20 years ago, they loved Bush, but, you know, they don't like Trump. They don't like his policy. They are, you know, pro-transgender. They're pro-immigration. They're anti-gun. They're pro-abortion, but they're Republicans because they support tax cuts. That's a type of Republican that Matt Dolan is. Now, he's not as bad as some other people are, but he's not that good either. And if you remember, he ran in 2022, and he got actually a respectable amount of vote. He got around 23.5% of the vote. But you look at where he did best in, yeah, it's the Columbus and Cleveland areas. You know, where the more liberal, moderate Republicans live. That's tended to be where Matt Dolan did best in. Now, he should not be our candidate. This isn't like New York. This isn't Massachusetts. This is freaking Ohio, a blue-collar state. No reason for us to even consider nominating this pleb. Now, before we continue, we need to discuss the electoral past of Sherrod Brown. And usually I would be cheap, and I would only copy and paste what Wikipedia says, look it up, and bam, call it a day. Everybody, this may be a first. You know, first we added the ticker at the very bottom, but now we have something greater. Animations. Oh my goodness, quick replay. Look at that. We have something amazing. Animations now, and a new section. This is what I want to look at when looking at past election results for general elections. I guess you could call it the electoral hub, where we look at past election results and we look at some fascinating trends. Now, 2006 was when Brown had his first Senate election. He was a representative for 15 years, I believe, 16 years beforehand. Mike DeWine was the incumbent senator. DeWine, funny. Point is, look at this map. You can tell things have changed in Ohio just a little bit. I mean, you have Cincinnati voting Republican, but most of Appalachia voting for Sherrod Brown. Now, this has more to do with the fact that DeWine sucked as a senator, and Brown was able to appeal to this blue-collar working-class base. And this is critical. I mean, look at Mahoning County, where Youngstown is. Look at how it basically voted the same as Cleveland. It voted more Democrat than Cleveland or Columbus, Ohio. That's northeastern Ohio. It's a blue-collar, working-class part of the country. It historically has been a Democrat stronghold. Now, we look here in 2012, all right, and you notice Josh Manel, another name that we all know and not love. Point is, very similar trend. Mandel, he lost by 6 points. He did worse than Romney in Ohio. But look at where he did pretty bad in Appalachia. And once again, the same trend happened. Northeastern Ohio, Youngstown, where Mahoning County is, etc. It did not vote Republican. In fact, it voted heavily Democrat. Yeah, this was Ohio before Trump really got involved. There's no reason, even back in 2012, for Republicans to lose some of these counties. I mean, look at some of these counties in Appalachia. Now they're voting like 60, 70 points Republican. Now, if you go to 2018, it gets a little bit more coherent. Appalachia still isn't voting as Republican as it should, but you're noticing that we're finally starting to get into modern times. Mahoning County isn't as Democrat as Columbus anymore, or I should say Cleveland in this circumstance, but it's still pretty freaking Democrat. It's unbelievable that people really think you can win Ohio by not winning Mahoning County. If you want to win Ohio, you need those blue-collar voters in northeastern Ohio. That is how even Bush won it back then. He didn't get crushed there. He didn't necessarily win that region, but he brought it kind of even, and he did great in the rest of the state. You cannot just abandon these working-class voters because, oh, Columbus has a lot of votes. These voters are never voting Republican again. All right? Just stop it. It's a cope to think that you could win Ohio without this working-class vote. And that's what Trump changed. He brought this working-class coalition to the Republican Party. But the question is this. Why haven't they voted out Brown yet? When Ohio is an R+8, R+9, maybe R+10 state at this point. Put it simply, Brown is what I would call a fake moderate. Like, he's not openly moderate. But the two issues, and again, we made a video on this a couple days ago. The two most important issues in Ohio, maybe third. Number one, trade. Number two, jobs. Number three, kind of healthcare. Those are the important issues to these voters. Fourth, maybe immigration. And Sherrod Brown has built kind of a machine in Ohio, focusing on fair trade, getting you good jobs, making sure your healthcare stays good, make it affordable. While Republicans, they're like, oh, Sherrod Brown, he's a radical liberal. We're doing this again? Have we not learned this from frickin' Georgia? This crap of calling them a liberal Democrat never works. The only way, or I think Brown is done either way, but to fully beat this guy into oblivion, like for sure, like there's no chance of this clown making it past, focus on the issues that matter to these voters. Focus on fair trade. Focus on getting manufacturing jobs back to Ohio. Create a healthcare plan, which at this point the Republican Party will never do that. But focusing on the first two, jobs and trade, that's how you beat this bozo. That's the only reason this guy has won year in and year out. He focuses on the issues that matter to the voters of Ohio. That's the problem that Republicans need to deal with. Now, Matt Dolan is not the guy that's going to do that. He's not going to do great in northeastern Ohio. He just won't. But there are a couple candidates that I think could do solid in northeastern Ohio, do good in the rural parts, etc. The first one, of course, is my man Warren Davidson. I don't think he's going to run. I think he's setting himself up for a governorship run down the line. So that's kind of the best case scenario, but I don't think it's going to happen. What is the more realistic case scenario is Frank LaRose. He is the Ohio Secretary of State. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, he's crappy on the issues. Get out of here. Look, LaRose, he may have some problems. I'm not disagreeing with that. But overall, he's our best candidate. He's not, like, I'm not saying he's bad. Some people make him sound like he's the worst candidate ever. They make him sound like freaking Joe Dea. He's a solid candidate. I wish he was as based as Warren Davidson is, but you can't, get mad that he's like a B+ tier Republican instead of like an A+ tier. That's kind of the issue with LaRose. He's B+, not A+. Whoop-de frickin' do. He's great on the issues, would beat Brown into a pummel, and with Trump or DeSantis on the ballot, Republicans should win this race easily, but running somebody like LaRose or Warren Davidson, is a guarantee you're going to beat this guy into oblivion. Somebody like Matt Dolan, you run the risk of doing better in Columbus, doing better in Cincinnati, collapsing in Northeastern Ohio. And look at the past results. I've shown this time in and time out. Again, you cannot just lose Northeastern Ohio and expect to win. You have to bring it to at least a tie. That's how you win Ohio now. That's how Bush won it. He didn't win this area, but he didn't get crushed either. That's how Republicans win Ohio, and that's how Trump's able to run it up. He has ridiculous turnout in Appalachia, but also Northeastern Ohio, he's flipped. That's how you win Ohio now. Stop this crap of thinking you just run it up in Columbus to call it a day. No. Anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter account in the description down below, and join the channel today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.